Half of the people were like. So there we were in Vancouver without work, both of us.
Oh dear.
So we're still struggling.
Yes.
But that's how we came here.
Well, when I went back to France last year, we come back.
What do you think and feel about today now, the location, like in the city? Anything? You can say.
Too much cars, too much pollution.
Something else
Um,
about the building?
I think buildings make you not see the mountains. That's all. What did you say?
What do you think about today's location, like the city? What do you think about here, like now? Is it something you think?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Like, any thought about today's location where you are, like in the city, is it building, space?
No.
No. See, we live here, so
Oh, you don't know.
yeah. We're kind of used to all this.
Idea?
No, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Thanks.
We haven't got anywhere to go. So there wasn't really much we could do. So we went over to Paris, and some friends of ours had this chambre de bonne, which is like a little one room apartment.
Yeah.
That you can barely, I could stretch my, if I lay on the floor, I could touch both walls. And they gave us this apartment for a few days.
Yeah.
And while we searched madly for another apartment, we found another apartment, and then I went into work a few days later. Well, it turned out the assignment or whatever, the project I was working on was temporarily put on hold. They actually didn't have any work for me to do, so I didn't have an apartment.
Yes.
Then I found an apartment, and we put a huge deposit on it, 3 months rent on it.
Yeah.
And then they told me that there wasn't any work at that point. So it was just unbelievable what could go wrong, did go wrong.
I see.
And then luckily a week later the project did restart, so they brought me back on, but it was just everything going wrong. Just everything going wrong.
I see. So then you stayed for another year, or?
Yeah, so then we stayed another year there. Until I got sick of that particular job.
Now I can hear your English accent, actually.
Oh yeah? This project here is quite interesting on the right, this piece of architecture.
Which one?
This
Oh
one
yeah,
on the
this
right.
one, yes.
Yeah, it's rather interesting. The project architect was speaking at a conference I was at.
Oh yeah?
Beautiful structure inside it. Wood structure.
What is it?
Isn't
It's just a shopping mall. But there's a beautiful wood structure inside.
You mean the low building?
The low building
that we
beside
can't
it.
See now?
Yeah.
So
Is
what?
this Surrey now, or where are we?
We're in Surrey, so we have to.
I like this area in the city. It makes me feel really comfortable, but I don't know. I think if I feel comfortable because I fit in a lot with the different people that are here. And
You think you have enough space, or do you think it's a waste of space?
no, I think it's
It's a good use of space.
yeah,
Because it's culture. Like
definitely got
a bunch of people can just come here and hang out. It's what it is. It's fun.
It's definitely a good use of space. It's definitely a good use of space. Sorry, I just got my tongue pierced. It's kind of swollen right now.
Thank you very much. We can. Or is it just like architectural spaces? Rotation. So I'm trying to push next one. In the city now, what do you feel and think about it now, like here?
Here? It's okay. It's kind of going downhill. Like, it's just there's more bums nowadays. Like, not like it's a bad thing, but they're not getting the help that they should. Like the Woodward thing, I found that it had no good coming from it. Like, I should have just left them where they were.
That's about the space too. I think.
They say on TV that the police are going to come and clean a bunch of stuff up and close a bunch of stuff down. It won't be the same. It won't be as fun if they do that.
The location will change.
No, if police come and close the shops down, because there's a big issue on TV about that, and it won't be the same. It won't be as fun, not at all.
And I lived back in England for a few years, so after high school as well. I would go to Canada.
What you were born in Canada?
I would go to Canada. I wanted to live back in England. Then I got bored of Canada again, so we went to France.
Can you be here? This side?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, slowly. Yeah, if you can. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's a place. We can keep going. We can keep going.
Oh,
It's something you can tell of anything.
well, you should have been here over the past few years when the various mafia organizations rotate their management of the enterprises in this city. So every time a new immigrant group comes in, basically the front line are the organized crime groups, and then they bring in the other people as friends and associates. So the real economy of Vancouver is basically on the docks with the smuggling and the drugs, and they actually sustain and sponsor, so to speak, the so-called surface economy that goes on around here.
That's something about today in the city.
¿Qué sientes en esta ciudad? Peace. Peace. Yeah. Qué bueno.
Yes, this is the way. Yeah. Yes.
Je sais qu'il y a beaucoup de parcs dans la ville de Vancouver, donc ça crée un bon espace dans la tête des gens, parce que c'est dit dans nos écritures, dans le Srimad Bhagavatam, si une ville n'a pas assez de parcs, ça rend les gens un petit peu fous.
Ça. Donc l'espace.
It makes people sane. Parks makes people sane. Donc c'est bon dans Vancouver, il y a beaucoup de parcs. Il y a le Stanley Park, et il y a aussi les montagnes qui sont pas loin, il y a des parcs qui sont pas loin. Mais aussi, malheureusement, comme on peut voir dans le Helltown, ici, il y a beaucoup de gros édifices de plus en plus qui se bâtissent, puis les gens ils ont moins et moins de place. Tu sais, déjà, les gens dans la ville sont déjà stressés, ils n'ont pas beaucoup de temps, ils n'ont pas beaucoup de place. Parce que les gens sont très passionnés, mais on voit ça que la passion devient de plus en plus increase.
Augmente.
La passion augmente.
La pression ou la passion?
La passion.
La passion.
La passion augmente et donc la pression augmente. La passion augmente mais ça c'est dans la société en général, la passion augmente, donc les gens deviennent de plus en plus attirés à vivre dans la ville. Et c'est pour ça qu'ils construisent de grosses bâtisses, beaucoup d'étages, parce que tout le monde veut vivre dans la passion, puisque les gens sont pas en train de cultiver la bonté, la goodness. Donc ici, en tant que Hare Krishna, on vient ici dans la ville pour aider aux gens à donner l'idée de développer plus de modes de bonté dans leur vie, comme ça. En fin de compte, c'est de nos projets en tant que Hare Krishna de bâtir plus de communautés rurales. Et parce que dans une communauté rurale, on vit plus une vie de bonté. Mais on habite simplement en ville pour une raison, et ça c'est pour la prédication.
Pour la quoi?
Prédication.
Prédication?
Ouais, pour prêcher.
Pour prêcher, d'accord.
C'est pour ça qu'on est ici en ville. Mais on essaie de plus possible d'avoir une vie plus paisible, qui est plus facile à faire, proche de la nature. Et c'est ça qui est bon de Vancouver aussi, c'est qu'il y a beaucoup de nature, il y a beaucoup de parcs.
Big cars and cows.
Cows and building.
Okay. You know the city, I guess.
The whole city?
Yeah.
It's loud, very loud. Very loud city. I don't like it. What else?
Yeah, a lot of crime. A lot of crime in the city. Yeah. Violence, yeah. Actually, not so much violence, but drug use. So much drug use. And, just sad people.
A lot of confusion.
Confusion, yeah. Good.
A lot of confusion. A lot of confused people wandering around, not sure what to do. A lot of confused people thinking they know what they're doing, but don't actually know what they're doing. They're lost.
That's what you think now. You can think about that now. That makes you think about that. Yes.
Well, I don't know. A while back, they were bringing. There was before there was the Italian mafia. Then the triads came in. For a little bit, the Jamaicans came in. This was a couple of years ago. Then there was the Russian mafia came in. Then just recently, I don't know, Black Caribbean mafia from Toronto came in. Now each ethnic group has their own mafia. So you know, they seem to make agreements like we'll let you in on like the Russians and the Italians or the Russians, so you can come in some of our territory in Russia if you let us come in over here, and they do that. They've all been doing that. They've been coalescing and joining forces at the fringes. So I don't know, you can see that what's going on between the government and organized crime at the highest levels are controlled by the same organization. That's why you have the CIA doing drugs or manipulating and selling, trafficking drugs, and you've got the Russians involved with the Afghanistans and drugs and the Mideast and the oil. It's all one big happy family of control. And Vancouver's a good example of that. If you have a mindset to look for it, you'll find it. If you're daydreaming and naive, you won't see it, but it's there, it's everywhere. So that's the thing about Vancouver. It's sort of like a movie set. You know, everything's about image, but if you know ahead of time what's going on, you can see the reality underneath it. So they're trying to create a new image in Vancouver, more. I don't know. It used to be called yuppie-ish, because they're trying. That's what this big pressure is on in Vancouver, of putting pressure on the homeless and the lower classes. When it's sort of like a class war starting up again, and it's not. And they're not being. They're being blunt about it.